San Haisai from the Ryukyu Kingdom of Okinawa, Japan. You are listening to the Shima Gaijin podcast with your host, Joe Isamu Davis.
Dumb shit all the time. All the time.
That's it. That's what we gotta do. Oh man, what a day!
It's good to see you, dude. I see you got that Zoom H6 all plugged in.
I've had this little baby for so long now that like the rubber on the sides of it's all like gunky and funky, and there's no way to clean it. I don't know what it is. It's just like humidity over years or something. So yeah, if you hand it to somebody, it's like you're handing this like horrible diseased package. so I'm always on when I'm working on set and stuff, I pull it out. I'm like, yeah, no, I'll handle the audio. It's kind of embarrassing, really, but it works well.
I just got my Zoom H6 in the mail a few days ago, so I unboxed it really quick. I was trying to hook it up, and it works fine, but I didn't know how to get your audio to feed into the actual recording because I was testing it with Amy, and it wasn't working. I must be missing a piece. Probably have to like YouTube it or something.
Yeah, it has to be some sort of output from the computer to one of the inputs, I guess. I'm not sure if it can handle like multiple lines going into the one line in, so you might have to go through some of the XLRs or something. But I'm not an audio guy. There's so much I don't know. I think you froze up there.
Did I? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right.
You're back now. It just looked like you had your eyes closed and you're just taking a minute. It looked very
really
peaceful. I didn't want to wake you up.
You're the cat savior, man. I saw the other day you saved this little kitty cat. You said some crows were trying to kill it.
It was nuts, man. Oh man! So we're coming back we went for a surf, and we're on our way back, and coming up this like double lane stretch of road where everyone just like floors it to get up there first. It's like a little rally race thing, and I see it looks like two birds having a fight. And I'm in the back seat because we got longboards. My wife is driving, and I'm like, whoa, what's that? There's two birds fighting, and then just like last second, I was like, man, that's a kitten. So she's like locks up the brakes. I jump out, like cars are flying past, and it was like 5 or 6 cars coming at me. I was like, yeah, not to sound heroic or anything, or whatever, but they weren't going to hit me. But I'm like running down the road barefoot, like in my board shorts, just like straight out of the ocean. I grab this cat up, and I grab by the back of the neck because I got no idea how feral this thing is, right? It's tiny, but yeah, grab by the back of the neck like the mama will do, and it just looks at me. It's like, like it's gonna, like you're next. I was like, instant love for this kitten, man. But my wife's got like mad cat allergies, so even in the car she starts sneezing and getting itchy on the way home. It's like 5 minutes. So I'm looking at this crazy cool little black kitten with blue eyes. It's like the most insane looking animal I've ever seen in my life, and it's just taken forever to like stop trying to fight me. It was, yeah, it was just on like ready to go, and it's just getting its teeth, man. So this thing was only a couple of weeks old, and it was just like such a fighter. Snapped that photo with my iPhone and put it up on Facebook, and then I was surprised how many people were like just trying to get this cat, and I'm like, I've got the cat trying to get it to drink milk on my chest, sitting on the couch, trying to fend off my dog who wants to eat it, and then answer Facebook messages. And there's so many messages, and it's that message request, right? Because they're not people I know. So I'm like going through the settings, like how do I find the message request? Finally gets to the point where like this one lady, she's like, yeah, I want it. My husband's on the way. I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm like sending a message to everyone else. I'm sorry, it's gone. I'm sorry, it's gone. I'm sorry, it's gone. But it was hard to let that one go.
Yeah.
My family took it. Little girl's face lit up when she saw it. It was pretty cool. Well, their dad did turn up with an Akuna Matata shirt on, and I was like, yes, he's the right guy. So it was cool. Super nice people. So.
The cat savior.
yeah, it was a funny thing, It was a good
Crows
cat.
are dicks too, man.
They are. They're the smartest of all the birds, according to what I saw on Joe Rogan.
Oh man, they you ever watch those videos on YouTube, like with crows fucking with other animals, crows fucking with cats?
No, I never.
There's this great one, man. There's this great one with this crow. There's these two cats. They're fighting, and the crow's like the instigator. He just keeps on flying down. He's right next to him. He's like, yeah. And he's like, get him. He said some shit about you. He's like following him. I gotta send it to you. It's
I
great.
want to see that. That sounds fucking awesome.
And
Oh,
whenever time I go to Okuma, and we're camping, and we forget, we leave some food out or something, but they always find a way to grab our shit and just take it and just leave a mess and all that. I'm like, you fuckers.
oh man, I tell you what, we got to like with this like staying at home stuff. We've been barbecuing like a lot on the balcony on the Japanese little barbecue, the shichirin. I can never say that word properly, but my wife like always cooks up some fish. And then garbage day comes around. It's like I'm waiting until I hear the little music from the garbage truck to come up the street to run and put my garbage out. Otherwise, it just ends up getting ripped apart and thrown all across the street. Those they're everywhere, man. Those birds suck ass.
Yeah, because you're in Yomitan, right?
Yeah, just outside. We're now in just in Ornason now, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's countryside, right? We're in the
Countryside,
mountains.
right? Yeah, so the crows are out there in the fields and stuff, and
Oh, they're everywhere, man. I saw one. I see them flying past with stuff in their feet, and we got the ospreys as well. Like not the ones that everyone hates, the bird ones. They're like I see them flying with the garfish or sometimes with a snake and stuff. It's pretty wild out here. I like it.
nice. Did you recently move there? You said, or because were you building the house?
Yeah, we've been here now. I think I was trying to figure it out the other day. I suck at timelines, right? Like I can never remember when I did what. But
This is gonna be a great interview.
yeah, it should be fun, right? I just know that I did it and it was cool. It was I think 6 years. 6 years ago we started building. So 5 years ago we moved in. But I mean, we used to live literally like a kilometer away, so it didn't feel like a big shift. Just a much bigger space, a lot more work to deal with. But it's pretty cool. It's sort of shifted around a bit now. We got neighbors and there's other people building. Like the boom is on. So yeah, it won't stay like this forever. But for now, it's pretty nice.
Just enjoy it while you can. Is that the same location where you got that one cool video where it's not a blue whale. What kind of whale is like jumping out from the
The humpback.
Yeah, the humpback.
Man.
Yeah.
That was so rad, eh? That's straight off my balcony. So I just got a new camera and I had like this big 600mm lens, and I was like, I'm just going to see how far I can zoom out into how far this camera can reach. I'm pointing it at the ocean, and like right there, bang, jumped up right in my frame. I was like, did that just happen? Do I need to see a doctor or what? A playback? But like you don't want to play back too long because you're going to miss something else happening. But yeah, it was. That was super cool. And then they started playing those two whales. They started breaching and playing, but I didn't capture it all. I was too busy playing with my camera. Rookie mistake. But yeah, Didn't see them this year though. Normally, like the last few years, every year we just sit outside and you'll see whales breach and Okinawa living, it's hard. But yeah, this year I didn't spot any.
What are some of the? By the way, how are you doing through this whole pandemic thing?
Oh man, I don't know. It's just it came at a weird time. I mean, like everyone that runs a business, it kind of sucks for that. Like I was meant to be having like April was meant to be like a month for the record books, right? And because all my clients come from overseas, that just stopped like instantly. But it was good in the sense that now I got to like just sort of kick back, take a repause, and I've been studying all this like 3D graphics and like 3D modeling and sort of upping my game a little bit, learning something new. So it's been really good. Not distracted by dealing with the business side of things, and just able to really like kick in and focus on trying to get better at something that I can offer or do, or that's something that I've always wanted to do, but you never have the time, right? So now best biz, I got so much time. It's like phenomenal. Today, I think yesterday I did like a marathon, like 14 hours straight, just working on some 3D stuff, and I like locked in with my OCD. It was like turn the world off, the phone was switched off, Facebook's off. God, that's so nice. And then just like locked in and made something that was kind of cool. That's coming out soon.
Do you take some sort of master class, or how do you do your research? How do you learning all this?
Yeah, man, YouTube, the world right now. We've got millions and millions of people out there desperate to show us everything they know, all for free. So yeah, get on YouTube, because there's never been a better time to learn new things, right? You you want to know something. I mean, there's tactile things that you have to learn, like, jiu-jitsu and stuff. You can't really like sit there on YouTube and learn jiu-jitsu, right? But like when it comes to like doing digital modeling and stuff on a computer, it's like, all right, pause. What does that bit do? They're out there throwing it around. You can learn languages. That's one thing that's kind of tripped me out. Like, I had to get off Facebook because there was so many people complaining that that they can't do anything and they're trapped, and it's so true. But just the internet's still working. Get in there and just like improve your situations. Come out of the gates, firing once this is all done. So anyway, that's the way it's been for me. How's it been for you, man? You been all right?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm blessed that I'm still employed and I'm working, just about every day. But with the judo and the jiu-jitsu that I was doing teaching on Kadena, I was teaching the jiu-jitsu on Fatema there. That's all stopped, but but that's all passive income. So I'm good. I can't train, which sucks. And gaining 3-4 kilos every month kind of sucks too. And trying to do as much as I can to maintain the physical aspect. But yeah, I know with this podcast, this is something I've been wanting to get back into, but like you said, there was no time. And then one day I'm coming back from work and I'm sitting here staring at nothing. I said, what am I doing? I need to start getting this together. This would be the perfect time. So YouTube University and start setting it up, right? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's good, man. I've been listening. That one that you just did with, what was her name again?
Tamiko.
Tamiko, yeah. How cool is that, man? Like,
yeah, it's awesome, right?
Yeah, that's super cool. You guys met like so long ago, and it's just in different fields, different lifestyles, and you're bringing it together. And yeah, man, it was like, yeah, I could tell you guys known each other for a while there. The way you were like vibing, it was cool.
Yeah, she's super cool, man. And I'm pretty sure she's changed, and grown up, but she's still the Tamiko I know. Outgoing, speaks her mind, and yeah, it was really cool to kind of catch up and then kind of get to know what her profession is and what she does. And isn't that cool? Like, I mean, stunt woman.
God, that's so cool.
How hot is that?
Oh man, I was just, damn, that's so cool. Like, I'm such a pussy, man. I need a stunt person just for my day-to-day life, Yeah, I gotta walk down the stairs and they look a little bit steep, I'm like, all right, stunt double. It was really cool, man. Hey, I was thinking about when I was watching that too. Like, do you think that, because your setup's been a lot like mine, where you've been like moving around throughout your entire life, right? When you're catching up with these people who were like good friends a long time ago, and you haven't talked to for a long time, and your life's completely shifted and switched around, and then you catch up, do you think that you kind of revert back to your old self a little bit when you get that connection again, or do you think that you just like kind of roll into it, that kind of effect?
I think in the beginning, yeah, you don't, but then you kind of slowly roll back into it.
Right. Yeah.
I think if you go back and listen to it, I'm a little bit hesitant, and it's kind of a slow beginning, but then it's like we start to pick back up right where we're at. The last time we saw each other,
Yeah,
that's
it's
how
true.
I felt.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I was just always wondering about that. Like I talked to a buddy of mine. We started in film together. It was 94, and we probably haven't talked since like 95, 6, something like that. And during this thing, we reconnected a little bit because he's got his business, I got mine. And we started talking, and I swear, man, it was like we were going to write like the next Jay and Silent Bob. We just went right back into the 90s, It was like, all my gray hairs fell out, and it just felt like I was a teenager again, having a chat about let's make some cool shit,
I've had that kind of situation.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, right? Like you need that. I think as you get older as well, you start, the old adage, you start relying on the things you knew when you were young, right? That's kind of cool. But yeah, it's been an interesting time though, for sure. Lots of cool things coming out. A lot of interesting things coming out. Like people are making some like awesome content. Like new steps forward, new ways of living. I'm super vibing with all that kind of stuff, but I'm not super vibing on all the negative stuff right now. That's
right.
That's kind of switched off Facebook and stuff because there's so much clickbait on there. People try to make money off of videos, so they just post whatever they can, So I just like, yeah, right, cool. I know nothing about that, so I'll switch you off and focus on this thing I'm doing right now, or my garden or something.
Yeah, you can only control what you can in your own environment, right? Can't control
it's-
the world.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I haven't. I actually did see there was that thing with Matthew McConaughey on Fox News. Did you catch that?
No,
That was like legit first time that a celebrity spoke during this whole thing that I didn't want to like just knock him out. It
Oh,
was
oh
like,
really?
yeah, it was just like there was some straight up common sense in there. It was whether you agree with what he says or not, it doesn't. That's not what I'm referring to. But he just like it was the first time it was a celebrity that wasn't standing there going like, "We're all in this together. I had to drain my swimming pool," something, some sort of like privileged thing. It was very down to earth and very common sense, and I was like, right now there we go. That's a celebrity to put on the list of people who are okay. It's
Right.
been
Yeah.
a weird time.
What kind of projects did you have lined up before all this chaos?
There's some cool ones, man. There was a crew that were going to come to Okinawa, and I was meant to be kind of the guy on the ground here to fix like what they call fixing, right? To sort of arrange everything they need. And they were going to fly drones with LiDAR, that ground penetrating radar, and look for like old remnants from the war and all sorts of really crazy shit. And it was going to be on the BBC. So that was like meant to be a 2-week trip where we were going to go all these like old battle sites around the islands, down southern islands and north. They were trying to get permission to do Iwo Jima, which would have been probably impossible. But there was an interesting thing there, and then I was like, man, and it was a hell of a paycheck too. And I was like, far out, this is gonna be so cool. I'm gonna get paid to do something that I would just do for free, probably, not officially. And it was like super cool. And then they were in the UK, so everything shut down there well before it shut down here. So,
Jeez, have they been in contact with you at all about following up?
no, they're a different kind of people. They're very, 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 very locked into what they're doing, and it's almost like dealing with like an elite special forces team or something. They're just like, all right, we're good to go. We're not going. Okay, and that was it. It's just like it's not happening. So, yeah, I mean, it may come back. They may move forward with it again, but I think that the whole series had a deadline that. Maybe that won't give them the opportunity to put that in there, but that was one. There was a couple more productions. There's a nature filming production that wanted to come and get some sort of Okinawa animals and stuff like that, and they were trying to do stuff there. And I did get to do some parts with some of the other crews that were trying to do like specials about animals around the world and things like that. I managed to I had enough stock footage to sort of stay in that one project where I was the Japanese macaques, the snow monkeys. Macaques, sorry, yeah, snow monkeys, yeah. So I've got that footage going into a documentary that happened, but yeah, it went from like it was this setup where I was like, man, I'm gonna be swamped. Like I'm gonna come out of this April just like dead on my feet for the amount of work that was coming through. And we had the plan to take my wife and down to Bali, bought a couple of surfboards, like special ordered from the guys at Firewire. Going to go down to Bali, catch up with some friends from Prague, meet in Bali, surf, like blow off some steam for like 2 or 3 weeks sitting in Bali. All that just like suddenly stopped, right? It was like, oh shit. My surfboards didn't come, like they got the shipping thing shifted, right? The shipping went from, was it $180 to ship them from Thailand to here, where they come from the factory, to $1,900 overnight.
Oh, geez.
So it was like, but Firewire, those guys, they're awesome, man. Like Mark and the guys over at Firewire, they're just straight up, they're like, no, we'll just hang on to them until things get back to normal. You don't have to worry about it. So
yeah, I had ordered some rash guards from a gentleman. He's based. He was in China. I mean, I think now he's back in Taiwan. But Bangladesh is just getting smashed, apparently. So they're stuck in Bangladesh. All my rash guards.
Oh man, yeah. It's kind of interesting though, because it's gotten everyone to like really look at what they need as opposed to what they want, right? Like, figuring out ways to make it, like even to little things. Like I've actually not to brag or anything, I've lost weight during this pandemic just because I'm like, I really want an ice cream, but I'm not going to go to the convenience store. So, whereas before it would be like, hey, I haven't driven my car today. I should probably, good for the battery. Go and buy some ice cream and some beer. Now it's like, well, what do we got in the fridge? Oh, carrots.
I thought you were going to say, because you live in the country area, you've been walking to Family Mart to get your ice cream. So he's like, maybe it was like 3 kilometers down and 3 kilometers back. So you're getting exercise and then replenishing.
No, none of that, man. Just like, all right, what's in the fridge? Yeah, because we do the big shop. Trying to, whether it's the right move or the wrong move, I don't know. It's a lot on both sides of the fence with that. Should we be doing this? Shouldn't we be doing it? But I don't want to get into that argument with people. I just like, all right, what do the pros say? They say that, okay, I'll do that. So I've kind of been doing that. So we're doing the one big shop. It's like staying home, and we got a lot of land. We're lucky, so we're growing vegetables and fruits starting to come up. I'm growing potatoes and all sorts of silliness. So it's kind of a cool setup for that, and doing landscaping and just like tons of stuff that you always put off. It's been like a super blessing, and then my wife's been working from home too, so that's been really good too. Get to spend some time together without just the regular everyday kind of distractions. It's been kind of nice.
Yeah. Did you have a project before with the BBC?
Yeah, I've done a few. It's the BBC kind of is the end result where it goes to, but there's like production houses that get projects approved by the BBC. So I actually work with those production houses, and it ends up being on. So we did one a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought you had met up with some folks from the BBC one time. I remember you telling me.
Yeah. I've done like, I think 4 now that have ended up on the BBC. A couple for Discovery. The BBC one was we're chasing typhoons, hurricanes. This
Sweet.
Show went around the world, right? And it was one of my early first forays into fixing, and trying to chase hurricanes or typhoons on islands in Japan. It was like, oh man. So we got like 3 teams. The main presenter guy, he's this guy that like chases typhoons and hurricanes. That's his whole MO. And I got 2 other teams that are doing like the side stories around his main story, because no one knows where these things are going to hit, and they're shifting all the time. So they thought, oh, it's going to hit Okinawa. They hired me, and they're like, oh no, it's going up to Kyushu. Do you know anyone in Kyushu? We need 2 people in Kyushu to like back up the 2 other teams. I'm like, no, all right, hang on. I got a couple of friends maybe. So I call up this buddy of mine up there, and he's never done this work, but he can translate, and he's pretty reliable. And he's like, yeah, I'll do it, JP. And he jumps on one team, this other girl jumps on the other team, and I've never met her, so I don't really know much about it. And we're sitting there in Kyushu, and they're like, all right, now it looks like it's going to hit Amami, or this island between here and Amami, and then we need to be on Tanegashima, or we need to be on Yakushima. And I'm like, all right, cool. And all the airlines have stopped flying because it's Japan. So, all right, cool. So like, I'm calling up rental helicopter agencies, trying to rent a helicopter to fly like the main guy to this like atoll that's got nothing on it in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the ocean during a hurricane. And it was just this wild trip, man. I didn't sleep for like, it must have been 4 days straight. And then like we get to Tokyo, because they wanted to go to Osaka. There was meant to be one hitting Osaka, but we couldn't get to Osaka. We had to go to Tokyo. We could go from Tokyo. Meeting this guy who's delivering water to Hiroshima. Suddenly everything shifted, right? I'm like, well, I don't even know where I am. I'm in Tokyo. Like, this guy's like gonna go to Hiroshima, and we thought he was ex-military, and he was gonna have it was gonna be on like a cargo flight from Tokyo to Hiroshima. So we're like, all right, so we're going to get on like a C-130 with all this water and supplies for the Hiroshima where all the floods had happened. Like, yeah, all right, that sounds pretty cool. And he's like, no, I'm driving there in my truck. Okay. So I like, seriously, I'm seeing things now. Like I'm so sleep deprived, right? And And I'm like, far out, man. Okay, so I need a car. I need to rent a car. That's what we have to do. We got to rent a car. And in the budget we had left, I rented this like crappy Pro Box, like just hard seats, terrible wind-up windows, kind of piece of crap, skinny tires, and we're following this guy from Tokyo to Hiroshima non-stop through the night. I got to drive because the guy that I'm cruising on this thing with is, he's not a very good driver, and he's had less sleep than I have, so I'm more worried about my existence, right? We drive through the night, get to Hiroshima, we get down there, and it's like full relief work, people clearing dirt, everything's going off. It's an insane situation. I set up the interviews. The guy needs to run around do his interviews. I've got nothing to do while I'm there, so I picked up a shovel, started shoveling stuff and doing that and helping out because I didn't want to be like the guy just standing around watching while all these people are working. And that finishes. It's hot as balls. And I'm like, all right, man, we're going to go get a hotel room in Hiroshima. I'm going to crash for like 24 hours straight. It's going to be awesome. The guy says, damn, there's another hurricane about to hit Hawaii. It's like that Category 5 one that a couple of years back that everyone was like freaking out about. He's like, we got to be there for that. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, we got to drive to Tokyo now. I'm like, oh, fuck's sake. So drive back to Tokyo, still on no sleep. And it was so bad, man. I'm driving down the road with headphones on, listening to stand-up comedians, and I'm so delirious that the guy has like a little nap. He wakes up and all he can see is me just laughing and slapping the steering wheel like a deranged maniac, doing 140 or whatever it was down the highway, 80 kilometers according to the speed limit, down the highway, just to go get on a flight to go to Hawaii. And we ended up not making the flight to Hawaii, so that's where I stopped. But they were going to fly me to Hawaii with them to film there as well. So it would have come on. I think by the time I got back to Okinawa and actually put my head on a pillow, it was 7 days that I'd been sleeping like windows of 15 minutes at a time.
Word.
So that was my big foray into the BBC.
Storm chaser, man.
Oh man, it was a wild trip. It was such a wild trip. And then they miscredited me on the documentary. I was listed as a surf photographer.
Oh my gosh. Did you ever let them know?
I was like, oh, whatever.
Doesn't matter at that point.
It's done, whatever.
I got paid.
I didn't even watch the whole thing, to be honest. I'm not much into those kind of productions where, I love working on them, but there's a lack of reality in a preconceived notion where, like, this is the story we're going to go film, rather than like, let's get out there, get some research in and film what we find, which is kind of more what I think is realistic. So yeah, I'm not much into that kind of Discovery Channel one where it's like, the voiceover's there and like, he's an expert, that kind of routine. So kind of wears me out a bit. Oh, I just appeared on my screen. Oh, there you are. You're back.
Yeah, no, I was trying to see if I can share the screen or split it, or I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I try not to look at the screen. I probably I don't know, like doing like that big faux pas where I'm staring off into the distance. But if I see myself on the screen or something, I'll be like, oh, geez, look at that. I look terrible. And I'll get all focused on that and feel uncomfortable.
I know you've done a lot of surf videos, which I think is amazing because you do a great job of just like capturing, the surf scene here in Okinawa. It's very calm, happy. It's just beautiful. What are some of your favorite places to surf around here, or just even in the world?
Oh man, I get asked that one a bit. Where do you surf? Where the waves are is my usual answer. I don't really feel localized to any particular spot. There's a lot of that, whereas a lot of people are like, this is my break. But I'm not. I like variety, and I like to try different things and see different things. My main thing is I'm not a fan of surfing in crowds, so I tend to stay away from places like the seawall at Tsunabe and places, just because it just becomes a lot of people, and that sort of takes away from that kind of being at one with nature a little bit when you're just surrounded by people. So yeah, a lot of times if I can get out to like northern breaks or faraway breaks or a little bit more remote. I like the adventure of traveling to find a wave. So there's a few in my backyard too. So that's nice.
Yeah, I've noticed that on your videos. I'm like, that's got to be like right down the road from his house or somewhere. You probably just walk right out there.
Yeah, well, there's a break I went to that we're pretty sure no one's surfed before, just because it's inconvenient and it's not that amazing. But I can see it from my house, so we were kind of like, my wife and I were like, you know what, we should go surf that one day. And it just turned out it was a day I had a mad hangover, so we paddled, and it's like almost a kilometer offshore. And we sort of paddling, but we had to do this like big roundabout paddle to get to it because of they're doing the mozuku farming, the seaweed farming, and they would like work in the nets right there, and we didn't want to paddle right across their nets, so we did this big paddle out there and got out there and had this cool fun surf. We could see the house, and it was that was pretty neat. It was like, I don't think anyone's surfed here before. I think we get to name it. That was kind of a cool feeling. But I mean, surfing's like it's not really a sport or a hobby for me. It's something that it's like my church, right? It's where I go to find a little bit of solace and refresh and turn off all the noise. So yeah, it's I guess that's what I want to bring out when I put those videos out a little bit. Like, I don't want to play it like punk rock music and like rah, crazy fast cuts because that's not the surfing I'm into. Too old for that.
What about internationally? Have you been to? I mean, you talked about Bali. What other places have you gone and surfed?
Surf trips like Taiwan. I love Taiwan. It's so close. It's nice. Surfed in Baja, Mexico, around Ensenada, a little bit in Southern California. That was, that whole area is really beautiful. It's just, the most remote I ever went was on a 17-day boat trip through northern Sumatra. That was an eye opener. There was waves breaking out there that were well above my level and just scared the crap out of me. But there was also some really amazing situations where you're sitting out on an island somewhere where you're like, there's probably not been a lot of people step foot on that beach, things like that. So I think, that adventure really, really gets me. And you find that in those kind of places. Recently went to G-Land, which is in Jawa. It's next to the next island over from Bali. And that was just an epic journey to get there. Amazing place. Monkeys going crazy at you the whole time. Apparently there's tigers in the forest and stuff. There's actually surf breaks there named Tiger Tracks. And just a really weird, unusual, bizarre kind of thing you'd expect to see in some film somewhere kind of situation. So the wave was fantastic. It was amazing. The main point in G-Land was it was going insane when I was there. It was way, way too big for me to surf, but I got to see some friends get some really insane waves out there. And then I surfed just down the point a little bit where it was a bit more manageable. But yeah, that was probably one of the most interesting trips I've been on, was to G-Land.
Wow. Was that with gosh, I don't know why his name escapes me, but from Happy Surfing?
Danny, yeah.
Danny,
Danny. Yeah, Danny's awesome dude, man, and it's a lot of fun to cruise on those trips with, because he's such a chilled out kind of character, and at the same time he gets amped when he gets amped, and a lot of times you don't even know when the amp's coming, like when he's going to go from 0 to 100. So it's super fun to travel, and he knows people from around the world. He's traveled a lot and he's seen a lot of stuff. So he's such a mellow traveler too, man. Like I'm the guy that's like, all right, so I got to be on this plane in 10 minutes. All right, I better go up to the gate. Then he's like, all right, the plane's boarding. Okay, now let me go buy a beer. Kind of thing. Like, there's no rush in him. So it's good for someone like me to travel that way, because it sort of mellows me out a little bit more as well.
Kind of a balance, huh?
Yeah, I mean, most of the travel I do is for work, right? So you're always like, I can't miss this flight, or I've got to get this equipment in, and it's always like a stress session to travel. And then it's when you sit down on the plane, that's when it's like, okay, I can chill. So yeah, it really helps to see that. Yeah, it's okay to miss the plane sometimes.
The video or the documentary that you made most recently, The Line in the Sand. That's a cool documentary. Really opened up my eyes about just I didn't realize about coastline. What was it, like shrinkage and growth and what is it, passive erosion? But people who are listening probably don't know what I'm talking about. But if you can just kind of talk about your documentary, the Line in the Sand.
Yeah, that was super interesting, and that comes right back to Danny again. The guy on the island, John Mark, he's the sort of the spearhead for this movement to protect this beach. He was talking with Danny and telling Danny the story. Danny told me the story, which caught my interest, and then I got in contact with Jean T about it. And it was a couple of days later, I was up there shooting this documentary on Amami with no real knowledge of what was going on, except that there were some people really trying to fight to save one of these beaches. And we got up there, and the people are super friendly to bring me in and help me make this documentary, like spur of the moment. There's no or anything. And so there's this beach. It's one of the last three seaside towns in all of Japan that doesn't have a concrete seawall or tetrapod, barrier out there, and they're trying to maintain that. They want to keep that the natural flow from the river and stuff. It gets really technical, and you can find out all the details if you watch it. But they're just basically trying to stop unnecessary construction that's sort of preemptive of fixing a problem that isn't actually a problem, and it would only be a problem if it was created by people. So it was a really unusual situation. And I've worked in environmental fields quite a lot throughout my life, back in Australia, and I've tried conservation efforts in lots of different ways. And for the most part, you don't really stand a chance against big business. But this particular situation felt like they had a real chance to get what they wanted out of this, to win this fight. And so I wanted to jump in and support that as much as I could. So I went up to shoot the documentary, and in doing so, I got to meet some amazing people who are now lifelong friends, I'm sure. And I got to learn all about the passive erosion stuff too, stuff I had no idea about. And a lot of my preconceptions were dispelled about how coastlines work, how beaches work, and how the natural sort of cycle of nature is a pretty amazing system within its own right that we don't really understand enough to mess around with so much. And that was what was cool about it. And that fight's still going on, by the way. Like the lawyers that they called the Katoku lawyers, they're doing it all pro bono, and they're basically got an injunction with the Kagoshima prefecture to stop the construction while more research is done. And so they do a lot of fundraising and things like that to try to raise not just awareness, but also some funds so that they can continue to fight and keep that injunction in place and keep that beach safe. So there's a lot of people, a lot of avenues in that story, and that's kind of what really sparked my interest. But the people who were doing the fight were doing something that they truly cared about. It wasn't a bandwagon kind of thing, and it was a good fight, and it still is a good fight. And definitely jump over and have a look at that if you're listening to this, because every little bit of support can help those guys.
Yeah, it's called the Line in the Sand, right? And it's about the beach is called Katoku.
Yeah.
And it's part of Amami Shima, right? Okay.
Yeah. It's I mean, like there's turtle populations there because the turtles were the weird thing, right? I didn't know this. Like I always knew turtles lay their eggs at a beach and then they come back to that beach. Like I knew that, but what I didn't know that if they come back and that beach isn't there, then they just never ever reproduce. They don't move on to another beach somewhere. It just stops dead right there. So essentially by destroying a beach, you wipe it. Every time we destroy a beach or put up a resort on a beach and we have that beautiful setup so we can go play, we essentially wipe out generations of animals, if that's one of their beaches. So I had no idea. I always thought that they just moved on to another beach, but turns out that that's not true. And Katoku's got a pretty special one there, which I couldn't talk about too much in the documentary. There's a leatherback turtle, which is like a prehistoric turtle, and it's the only time one has ever been recorded nesting in all of Japan. It was at that beach 16 or 17 years ago. We couldn't talk about it in the documentary because I didn't have the actual footage. I didn't have anything to physically back it up to show it. But that turtle has a maturation period from when it hatches to when it's able to reproduce of around, they say, around 17 to 20 years. They're not sure because it's such an endangered species. Right. So it'd be right about now, between now and the next couple of years, that if any of those turtles from that one nesting did survive to maturity, they'd be returning sometime in this period. But if there's construction on the beach, they won't come back. So it's like a super endangered species. Yeah, they're amazing, massive leatherback turtles.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd love to have seen one. So yeah, hopefully do get to see one day.
Yeah, that's insane. Because I didn't understand that. I didn't even know that they had this intimate, and they're intimate to where they're born, right? And that they would come back. I didn't know that at all. I thought they would just, like you said, randomly would just go to a beach and then create a nest and then lay their eggs. But yeah, and if they do come back and it's not there, they're not reproducing. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's it. And so you're talking like 20 or 30 years worth of turtles, right? That
right.
If they just build this one wall, then it's like, wow, bam, 20. That's 2 or 3 generations of turtles will just disappear. We'll stop producing, right? So
the footage that you had of the little baby turtle in the ocean, was that at that island, or was that different footage somewhere else?
That was different. That was filmed directly just out front of my house.
Sweet.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. So the season was not right to get that kind of footage, but I had plenty of stock footage of turtles. So that was a green sea turtle, which is one of the turtles that's affected there. And I also had some footage of the loggerhead turtles, which I think they call them the aka umigame. I think that's I think it translates. I'm not an expert on that, but yeah, the turtles that I did have stock footage of are the same species that are at risk at that beach. Okay. So that was I wasn't just putting it in there for a cute factor. It was legitimately so. But yeah, I mean, there's just some interesting people up there that are doing some amazing things. And actually, yeah, one of the guys up there, Shinpei, the surfer guy, it's actually his birthday today. A little shout out to Shinpei.
Yeah, happy birthday, Shinpei.
Yeah, he was very cool, dude. Yeah, they were really, really nice, man. They're nice people.
Yeah, Amy's mother is actually originally from Amami Shima.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think she's ever been there though.
Oh man, if you get a chance,
how'd you get out there?
Up there. There's a ferry. You can fly. I think you have to fly to Kagoshima and then back to Amami, or you can take the ferry. And it's a long trip, man. I think it worked out to be like 15 hours on the boat, and there's nothing on that boat to do. It's not like there's a bar or something. I guess you don't have a drink or something like that. It's just it's horrible. So yeah, just get yourself like super tired. And I went on with like so much gear onto this ferry, and I've done it a few times. So I've done the Kagoshima trip with a car as well to get up to the mainland and things like that. So I knew what I was in for. But yeah, just get yourself a berth or whatever it is, and it costs like, I don't know, like 10,000 yen each way or something like that. I can't remember. And just get crazy tired before you get in there. Grab a beer at 9 o'clock in the morning, slam that, and go to sleep. Wake up, you're almost there. That's my travel advice for Okinawa to Amami. But yeah, that island's so pretty, man. It's surprising how quick the topography changes from Okinawa to Amami. Just gets it's so lush and mountainous almost compared to here, which is a little bit more sort of rugged and lava rockish, sort of thing. So But yeah, really beautiful island, great place, fantastic people up there. You know, super welcomed. It's that island living, man.
Yeah, can't beat it.
Yeah, you can't. And hopefully Okinawa doesn't lose that vibe, you know, because all the building that's going on. But
Yeah, with all the tourism, right? We may have to like move out to over there, huh?
oh man, it was definitely, you have that like that holiday romance feel, right? Where you're like I'm gonna live here for the rest of my life. Uh,
Yeah,
I
it's one
get
of
that
those
everywhere I
moments.
go. Oh man, I get that in Bali. I was in Bali talking to my buddy. Like, so how do you buy a property here? And just because I'm having a beer and I'm not working, right? So it's like, wow, this is the best place in the world. I can live like this, far out. But yeah, I mean, everywhere's the same, right? It's the same but different.
How long you been doing photography and video footage and all that production?
Long time now. I kicked off in video production. I got my start in the end of high school, so '94. I was part of a program that was kind of new where they were teaching film and television production at school level. And then photography, I had to learn photography a little bit to get into it, just to take the pictures for the productions we were doing. Uh, but that was all film, film and videotape. So it was all, tangible. You had to cut film and things like that. Uh, and then there was a good hiatus for a while. Came Japan, and there's no work in that industry, and things are too expensive to do as an independent. Cameras, the technology wasn't there, so you'd have to buy like $100,000 film cameras, and it just wasn't logistically possible. So it wasn't until the digital sort of era kicked off properly that I got uh, back into it as like solidly into the film production. I had to do photography for quite a while, sort of in the middle there. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a long haul now. I'm scared to think about how long that is. Was that coming up on like 20, 26 years? Jesus Christ! Some of the people I film are younger than that.
I know you're not you say you're not good at dates, but when did that digital start when did that take off?
In the film side of things, it was when it would have been the DSLRs started to get the video function. So that's got
Is
to
that
be
early
what, like,
2000?
no, it's later than that. Yeah. I mean, I'd say like 2008 to 2010 is when they started to add the video function to DSLRs. And that's when everyone started using that term cinematic. Um, it's cracking me up. Just like shallow depth of field equals cinematic. Yeah, no, it's just like that's when it became a little bit more accessible. I mean, it was still, it had all kinds of problems, and like it wasn't amazing, but it just gave people the ability to shoot something that looked like a movie, with a shallow depth of field on a site that they could afford. Um, and then, yeah, I think from there, like once things like YouTube and social media started kicking up, then that created uh, an avenue for people to get really excited about making independent films, which then gave the camera production companies and the media companies a market to start selling to, which really kickstarted and drove the production. And now we've got companies like Blackmagic Design, which are making affordable. That's what I shoot with. They make affordable cameras that are amazing quality. Just 5 years ago, you'd be talking 50 grand for a red camera, and now you can get, a pocket cinema camera for like 2 grand that shoots not as good, but pretty damn close, and nothing you would ever notice on YouTube. So
Black Magic Design, that's the name of the company.
Blackmagic Design.
I just wrote it down.
Dude, they make the best shit ever, and they're a great company too. I'm not brand loyal. Like I don't really give a crap about what brand things are from, but customer service is something that'll get me to really stick with a brand. And their customer service is fantastic, guy. One of the first cameras I got when they were starting out, I had a couple of issues. I told them about it. I'm in Okinawa. Their head office, I think, was in Melbourne, Australia at the time. And I contacted them. I'm like, dude, I got this camera, just received it, and it's got this issue and this issue. And they got my address off me on the phone and shipped me a new camera and just asked, can you just send the L1 back so we can fix it? Like they just like, didn't even wait for it to come so they could check it and make sure I wasn't bullshitting. And they were just like, yeah, we've got a new camera coming your way. Send that one back. And I mean, that just instantly, I was hooked. I was like, yeah, this is the kind of people I want to work with. I want to support them with my money. Yeah, and they kept getting better and better and better. I mean, yeah, amazing company. A very big fan. Haven't talked to them for a while though, so who knows? They might have become assholes, but yeah, they were money and success. But at that time, they were amazing.
Well, that just means their products are just getting better and better, huh?
Yeah, they are, like everything. They got problems because they output in you. Their thing in the industry is that they're the company that'll put their product out, and then it'll be like, yeah, we didn't quite finish that bit, but we'll finish that in an update. That kind of routine. So if you're like the first, the first one to get the camera, you're probably going to be like, this doesn't work or something. But it's kind of a bit like Tesla, right? Like they future-proof it by like, we'll update. We've got a bunch of stuff in there we haven't quite worked out. It's in the product, but we'll make it work later. So they do a bit like that, which that's fine with me.
Nice.
They're not charging like $100,000 like some of the other companies do.
What kind of advice or tips do you give someone who, let's say like myself, I want to get into photography, or maybe just even like filming, doing vlogs, mini documentaries, putting stuff on YouTube? Where should I start first as far as maybe cameras go?
Yeah, I do get that a lot. Like a lot of people go straight to the tech. And my advice is always a bit different than that. Like, yeah, you can make a great film with an iPhone. You've got to have a passion about what you want to shoot and know what it is you want to shoot and what you like first. Then the camera's just a tool. It gets to a point where your technical skills will get high enough that you require a certain level of equipment in order to be able to do what you want to do. Like special effects and stuff, you need like high resolution so you can work with it. But I mean, like you can make amazing content on any device, really. Like if you're just kicking off, like I wouldn't worry so much about going for like the high-end 4K and stuff. If you think about it, most people are still looking at everything in HD. Most computer screens and stuff like that, they're still HD. So everyone's like going crazy for 4K. You stay away from 4K because it's data heavy. You only need 4K if you're doing like mass productions of real high-end professional stuff. But I always try to tell people just love what you want to do. Like have a vision and a passion, and then film that. Like if you love soccer, don't go film rugby. It's this, it's a ball sport, but it's like, you're not going to know all the nuances. You're not going to see all the things. If you love surfing, film surfing. Stick with what you know, what you love, and produce something that you want to see. That's the thing a lot of people miss as well now, because people look at it as a revenue source. Like I want to become a filmmaker to make money on YouTube or something. But all the successful people on YouTube in general get that way because they're making something that they want to see, and then that attracts like-minded people, as opposed to like, well, what can I make money on? That stuff gets old quick. So definitely follow your passion. I think it's number one. But cameras, for vlogs, I mean, the camera and the computer works for a vlog. If you're going to walk around doing the selfie thing, there's those little like Osmo, the DJI Osmo, the little one that just came out, the Osmo Mobile or something. Those things look pretty dope because they're so small, they fit in your pocket. It's different things for different things. Like you don't want to buy like a big shoulder-mounted rig for like high-end film production and then walk around and try to hold it out in front of your face and get the shaky arms. And like, here I am at this location. You just use your iPhone for that and the selfie stick. It just depends on what you want to do. Different setups. Yeah.
I've seen your video of like what you got in your bag and stuff. If you're going to be shooting, like a documentary or something, you've got several different types of cameras. You got your stand, you got all that. And,
shit gets heavy quick.
I can imagine you hauling that around while you're trying to, work with that team, chasing down that typhoon.
Oh man, I tell you what, like I did this one little series for a little bit. I haven't been able to get much more going, called the Trekking Filmmaker. So I had this idea because I love hiking and trekking places, and I was like, if I have all my gear, my tent, my bag, my food, all my camera gear on my back, and go and make a film where it's like there's no crew, it's just me and what I can carry. I'll do that. And I did that with this camera I had called the Ursa Mini, which is not mini at all. The damn thing's heavy as shit. And in order to use that, I had to use this tripod that could hold the weight of that camera. So just my camera and my tripod came in at like 22 kilograms. It was like whatever that is, like 30 something pounds on my back, and it just like I felt my knees going. I was almost weeping by the time I finished this one trip. So that was like a good example of somebody who's trying to have the most professional gear but didn't think about the situation they were going to shoot. So now I do the same thing. I use a tiny little camera that's fits in my backpack, and this tiny little travel tripod. I'm like, yeah, I got my knees are going to be okay for this one. I'm not going to be killing myself to get this shot. So, you got to like really plan for, what it is that you want to shoot, and then pick the right gear for what'll make that work the best. Not necessarily the most professional shit you've got. I guess it's the same in all walks of life, right? In surfing, there's a guy named Joel Tudor that's like, it's kind of, his line is like, let the wave choose the board. I think that's the quote, something like that. But yeah, right. Don't just ride like a short board in tiny little waves, and a big board and big waves just because that's the board you ride. Be adaptable, I guess. I don't know. I'm getting all wax philosophical now. Philosophical. Oh man, I might not be able to listen to this podcast.
It's all right. I've come a long ways though. Remember when we had like the little mic in the middle of the room? We're kind of like yelling into it. Yeah,
it was funny. You're getting a little bit too drunk. Actually, no. Actually, I stayed sober that time. I was gonna get drunk, but I stayed sober.
I think Maki was drunk.
Maki was hammered. I was just laughing at Maki most of the time. It was a funny day, man.
I saw you had all those like pieces of tape you said on your in your house. Like it looked like a tic-tac-toe game going on. What were you working on?
So I'm working on this 3D stuff right now. And I don't want to do like 3D where everything's 3D like a Toy Story. I want to integrate live footage with 3D elements. And this is what I've been working on during the pandemic. And I'm doing actually shooting. So David Ralston, who was on your first episode there, David, he sort of said to me like, let's do a music video. And so that gave us this thing like, how do you shoot a music video when you can't physically be in the same room as somebody, and I can't hire cast, and I'm meant to stay home? I was like, fuck, that sounds like an awesome challenge. So I started learning 3D kind of to do that video. So that's what I'm working on right now. We're going to making a music video with a lot of 3D in it that's shot at my house. And that should be out next Sunday if my computer doesn't explode. But those little pieces of paper and stuff. So I had filmed a scene in my house where my camera actually moves through my house in this one motion to here, stops for a while, and then moves over here and stops for a while, and moves here and stops for a while. And I got to put different things in each of those stops and basically create like a 3D model within my computer of what my house looks like. So all those bits of paper were tracking markers so that the camera can go, okay, it's moving this way, and it's moving that way. So everything kind of can physically be placed. It's such a weird kind of thought process, but it's starting to make sense after many hours of like scratching my head. But it's fun, yeah. My wife came upstairs because she was working in this studio downstairs. She came upstairs, walked in the door, took a look around, didn't say a word, just turned around and walked right back downstairs. The whole house is like covered in masking tape with black dots all over it and triangles and all sorts of. I mean, I had them in that photo. You could see like maybe a tenth of how many markers were in that. It looked like a beautiful mind or something, where you walk in, there's like a string between all the conspiracy theories. Oh man, that was. I remember thinking to myself like it made sense when I was doing it, and then you step back and look at the scene, you're like, what the hell am I doing?
Just probably walking out of like, "Daijoubu kana?"
Yeah, well, that's up there right now in my computer. My computer's trying to make sense of all that right now. It's been going for 22 hours straight trying to make sense of that situation. But we'll see. It
That's
may or may
interesting.
not.
So is David and Mary shooting like their own parts outside somewhere or inside, and then sending that to you, or
Well, this one's just with David. I
okay.
wanted to do something with Okinawa Americana, but we had one of David's off of his album 20,
Mhm.
his 20th anniversary album. So we had one song on there that we talked about doing a video for forever, and finally doing it. So I got him to film himself singing the song, and we're going to incorporate him into the video doing that way. But like David's forte isn't filming, it's music. So
Right.
so I was like, do I give you lots of advice and sort of set up how I want you to film, or do we just keep the challenge even more interesting and just like you film something and I'll make it work? And so that's kind of the way we went, and he did a really good job. It's like I had no art direction on the mood or anything, so it's just like this is what I got, um, and yeah, I wanted to just challenge myself to make that work. So yeah, we'll see.
Which song is that?
It's Riverside.
Oh, Riverside. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool rock blues song, available out there on Apple and iTunes or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's a great album actually that he made.
That was super fun. That was one of my, to this date, that's still my favorite album cover we ever shot. Was that one, and it was I think it's like 6 photos we took to get the album cover. It's like him jumping. We just shot it up on my roof. But yeah, it was a funny day. But yeah, I had this image in my head of this shot for, I don't know, like 6 years. But I'd never really panned it out. It was kind of like I wanted something to look a little bit like Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen, have that kind of vibe, but different. And yeah, he came around. Dave came around as we always do. We don't prepare anything. We just like turn up, like let's just make something, and then we just make something. Very little scripting goes on in our professional relationship. It's kind of funky, but his enthusiasm is awesome, right? It's infectious.
Yeah, he always brings it. Yeah,
he's like, man, that's awesome.
that's a pretty good Dave Ralston impersonation.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's just like, yeah. But you're just like, it is. Oh, it's awesome. Okay, let's do it. You just get all vibed up on that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's always high energy.
He's high energy and it's always positive. Like
Yeah.
even when he's pissed off, it's like infectiously positive. Like yeah, I don't know how to describe it. It's just
No, I think that's perfect. Yeah, infectiously positive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just he's always stoked on something, man. So, yeah, I mean, you hear the guy get upset, and he'll be upset for like 10% of a conversation, because he'll be like, "Oh man, something bad's happened," but like then it just goes bang into something awesome and positive. Like it's like it dissipates and he forgets all about it, and then he's just back to being stoked on everything. So,
Right. Yeah. He'll be upset, and then all of a sudden you'll see him like he just starts chuckling, laughing about something else that just comes to his mind, and goes off on that tangent. And it's like, wow, man. Yeah, super positive all the time. Even when I was telling him, hey, I'm gonna do this podcast thing again, and he's just like, do it. It's like, I'll be your guest. Let's go. All right.
Absolutely, man.
You do the intro. Gotcha. Boom. Sent me that intro, and
that's awesome.
Yeah.
The radio voice. I love it. Oh man, that cracked me up when I heard the first podcast. I was like, is Dave doing that as part of the podcast? Oh, it's the intro. Oh, that's wicked. Yeah, no, it's good, man. Like he always says, like be a fountain, not a drain. I think there's words to live by right there. He's definitely one of the fountains in this world. So it's good to see, man. I'm glad you got this podcast going, dude. Like,
I appreciate it, man.
I dug what you guys were doing before, and it kind of, I think I don't know what happened with that, but like I figured you guys got busy and things happened, whatever. And I was like, I haven't heard a podcast for a while. But then this one popped up, and I was like, yeah, bang on, man. You keep the stuff going.
Yeah, I just got to find some guests. I got some people in mind, and been writing some notes and stuff. I just gotta slowly plant the seed and make contact. And, I don't want to contact someone and say, hey, you want to do a podcast? I'm like, you don't even know me.
It's weird that, hey, like some people do the podcast thing, almost like I was saying with the YouTube thing, where they like they saw Joe Rogan did a podcast and like I want to be famous too or something. And I got people like sending me like requests to do podcasts that were like message requests. Like there was no build up, there was no introduction, and then that gets you thinking like, well, why should I do your podcast? Like,
Yeah, I don't even know you, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you know, why do you what do you want? Like you want some free content, kind of routine. But like, yeah, you can tell the difference when someone's doing it because they want to be doing it. Someone's doing it for that reason. And this is definitely, I think you've got something that's cool here, man. So,
I appreciate it.
yeah,
I think
well, maybe
important
not this episode, but
No, this is going to be right up there. And people even around the island who may not even know like what you do, now they can go check out your content and find out about, one of the things I like to watch is your the things to do in Okinawa, because I've been here for almost 20 years and I don't even know that shit exists.
Yes, the Cinematic Asia. That was kind of a weird one. That I think I was drunk, right? And I was watching travel, like travel blogs, and I was just being, I guess, old and dumb, man. But I was like, why am I looking at someone's face the whole time? It's like this selfie kind of culture, which I haven't embraced. So I don't really understand. But like it was a travel vlog, but I can't see the place behind the person because their face is in front of the camera. Like, here I am at this famous place that's behind me and out of focus. So I kind of, at his backlash to that, I was like, I'm going to make some cinematic kind of travel video, and I just kind of did it as a joke. And I really found that I really enjoyed that. That kind of where you go somewhere and just try to just show it for what it is. Like take away a little bit of the bullshit, and show it. If there's people running around, then show the people, whatever. But yeah, just sort of like this is a place to go. And then being here in Okinawa, that I was like, well, I've got a ton of footage of Okinawa. I should probably use some of it for that. But I've still got a lot of episodes to come out. I just haven't got around to making them all. It didn't feel right to do like a travel vlog during a time when no one can travel. Just kind of felt a little bit off taste or whatever. But yeah, Cinematic Asia will continue. Actually going to move some stuff over to Facebook from now for the video stuff, just so it's more accessible. It seems like there's such a drop between YouTube. Like there's your YouTube audience and there's your Facebook audience. And it's really hard to get people to cross-platform. Yeah. So I got to start copying. I got so much content on YouTube, whereas that's where I posted most of my gear. But I'm gonna start bringing some of it back to Facebook, I guess.
So it's cool. I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, it should be a few things drop. But yeah, it's an interesting time, man. There's so much content available that things can get lost in the mix. But yeah, if you look for it, it's there. There's some people doing some pretty cool work out there. I'd love to see that promoted. I got friends or just professional acquaintances, man, that make just insanely cool stuff. But you'd probably never find it just because it's not backed by corporate stuff.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see that part of YouTube come up. There's so much corporate stuff. Like you go online now, you go on YouTube, and it's like there's the Tonight Show, and it's like all the TV people kind of infiltrated into YouTube and are dominating it. Like even people like Conan who do awesome stuff. They come from TV and they're bringing that TV money into YouTube and sort of like killing the market for what YouTube was really meant to be.
Right.
So, yeah. So it'd be kind of cool to see that figure out some way to get YouTube back to the U part.
Yeah, Adam, thank you so much for taking time to do this, buddy. I really appreciate it.
Oh man, always fun to talk with you, Russ. Sorry, ranting off there for a bit.
No, that's what this is all about, man. It's not about me. It's about getting cool guests like you to come on, and I get to pick your brain, and have a real human conversation.
Yeah, it's it, man. It's cool. Hey, man, I hope once these things get back to normal too, I'm pretty keen to come out and try to join in some classes too, with the jiu-jitsu.
Oh yeah, dude, come out anytime.
Yeah, it's been a while. See whether these bones still creak.
as we get older, we got to be a lot more craftier and, use our minds and not our muscles. So, yeah, I mean, if you come back, it's the perfect time to do it.
Ah, perfect. Yeah, we'll see what we can see if we can get out there once this is all the madness is settled down.
Yeah, I was going to say, too, once that madness does settle down, I know we've texted back and forth, you, David, and I, and even Mary about, going out and filming some stuff about, local foods and stuff.
Oh yeah, we got to do that.
Cafes, and we talked about it a lot, but yeah, maybe that'd be the perfect time to get back. Well, maybe not immediately.
No, yeah, small amounts, right? But yeah, no, I think definitely that's something I definitely wanted to get into doing. Just there's so much to explore and see, and it's
Right.
always evolving on this island. That it should be fun to just goof off with my friends.
I appreciate it, buddy.
All right, buddy. Well, you take it easy and give my best to Amy as well, and hopefully we'll catch up soon for a beer.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. We, one of these days we'll just do a virtual beer, come by and drink or something.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. We'll have like a Zoom party. Just everyone gets smashed on Zoom.
I've been doing that with my jiu-jitsu guys, so probably gonna do that today. Just quick come by, see how everyone's doing.
Ah, good stuff, man. Yeah, you got to check in with the peeps from time to time. So,
All right, buddy. Hey, thank you so
all right,
much.
mate. You take it easy.